Why do you keep getting hoovered? The hoover is a direct assertion of control by the narcissist. Hoovers are hugely effective for us. They enable us to assert control over you, draw fuel from you, potentially character traits, and potentially residual benefits. Why is it then that you keep getting hoovered? Well, contrary to mistaken belief, it isn't because the narcissist is some kind of Terminator-like machine that is hell-bent on hoovering you till you pop. Many people make the mistake of thinking that the narcissist is some kind of mechanical hellhound that will just keep going and going and going in order to hoover you. That shows a misunderstanding of narcissists and narcissism. The reason why you will keep getting hoovered is because your no-contact regime isn't good enough. People fail at no contact for two main reasons. The first, they don't actually understand what no contact is. And the second, the presence of emotional thinking, which drives you to try and have some form of interaction with the narcissist to feed your inherent addiction to narcissists. No contact is the go-to remedy when dealing with a narcissist. If you don't have an effective no-contact regime, you increase the risk of being hoovered. We, of course, regard you as our appliances and that you belong to us, and therefore, because of our rampant sense of entitlement, lack of boundary recognition, no sense of accountability towards decent behaviour, and an absence of emotional empathy, see no problem at all with keep returning. Of course, an aware narcissist, such as the Greater and Ultra, knows precisely why we are doing this. We're doing this to control you. We're doing this to gain fuel from you. The unaware narcissist, the lesser and the mid-range, don't know that they're coming back to achieve the prime aims. They may well think that they are returning because you owe them some money and you should repay it. Or that they suddenly feel that they ought to apologise for their behaviour towards you. Or they want to have sex with you. Or they've suddenly realised that they've kept your secateurs and they thought they'd return them. Or they've realised that they've left their Mickey Mouse plastic ears at your house and therefore have returned to collect them. Whether it is to return and give you a peace of mind, a mouthful, a verbal nasty tirade, or to seek forgiveness, offer to fix a leaking pipe, or even to return some money that was owed to you. All of those reasons are not the real reason why the narcissist is hoovered. The real reason that the narcissist is hoovered is primarily for the assertion of control and the drawing of fuel from you. Many people don't understand what no contact means. They think that no contact is essentially having no physical interaction with the narcissist and not talking to or responding to messages from the narcissist, not replying to a text, not answering an email. That is not a no-contact regime. It is not even 25% of a no-contact regime. If you believe that that is a no-contact regime, you're wrong. If you believe that that is a no-contact regime, you will keep getting hoovered. And therefore, this will naturally lead to you asking the question, why do I keep getting hoovered? Answer, your no-contact regime just isn't up to the job. And it has to be. You have to close down all 5 arenas. Common errors when it comes to no contact and why you keep getting hoovered are as follows. And these are just a few examples of scores of different ones. Firstly, the desire to get closure. You think that you can get answers from the narcissist, and therefore, you approach the narcissist. You might send an email or a text asking them to answer some questions for you, to explain themselves. When you do that, you're issuing challenge fuel. You're coming up on the narcissist's radar. The narcissist realizes that because you're asking questions, you're not under control, because you're trying to make the narcissist accountable, and you are not allowed to do that. And therefore, if the Hoover execution criteria is met, and it probably will be met because of the consequence of it being easy to reply to you, because a text can be sent or an email can be sent, then the narcissist will respond and hoover you. And therefore, you caused that hoover by trying to seek answers. If you hadn't done so, you would have been far less likely to have been hoovered. Secondly, individuals often say to me, HG, I'm in no contact, but he keeps texting me. How do I make him stop? That isn't no contact. If the narcissist is texting you, then that hoover is occurring because you are going on the radar of the narcissist in some form. You might not be contacting the narcissist, but the narcissist has happened to think about you, or more usually, something or someone has reminded the narcissist about you, and therefore the narcissism dictates that you have to be brought under control, and because you haven't blocked that number, the narcissist texts you. It's easy. Keeping open an electronic route is committing no-contact suicide. Number 3, a common mistake is to think, I want to prove that I can ignore the hoovers. Madness. Utter madness. That is emotional thinking. You don't need to prove you can ignore the hoovers. Don't allow the hoovers to come through in the first place. That's your emotional thinking misleading you, and therefore is it any wonder you're getting hoovered because you are allowing them to come through. The narcissist will see that you are reading them, and although you might ignore them to begin with, you won't continue to do so because your emotional thinking will increase and the narcissist will keep periodically hoovering you, sometimes blitzing you in order to try and assert control over you, and eventually you will reach a tipping point with your emotional thinking which will cause you to respond. Number 4. A common error is thinking that you need to know what the narcissist is up to. You don't. When you're fixed with knowledge that you're dealing with the narcissist, obey the first golden rule of freedom, which is once you know, you go, you get out, and you stay out. You don't need to find out what the narcissist is up to. If you saw a strange man lurking in your garden, and no, it's not me because I'm not strange, but if you saw a strange man lurking in your garden, and you suspect that might be Billy Burglar, would you ensure all doors, windows are closed and bolted and locked, and call the police? Or would you think, I know, I'll go out and see what he's up to, and start searching behind the trash cans, down the alleyway and behind the bushes to find out what he's up to and what he's doing? Meanwhile, he's run around behind you into your house, stolen all your Michael Bublé memorabilia, and zipped off through the front door to sell this and have a gay old time getting high as a kite. No. You don't do that, so you shouldn't do so with a narcissist. You don't need to know what the narcissist is up to. You impose a total no-contact regime. If you try and find out what the narcissist is up to, you'll get hoovered, because the narcissist will be alerted to what you're doing. If you're asking questions of people, they may well inadvertently mention it, not maliciously, but just in the course of ordinary discourse between human beings, that you were asking after the narcissist. If you also place something on social media which enables the narcissist to see, because you've reacted to snooping on their social media, that is a hoover trigger, and you may well be hoovered, particularly if you've put something disparaging. That will threaten the narcissist's control, and therefore the narcissist will be occasioned to respond by hoovering you to assert control over you. You've invited the hoover. Number 5. Wanting to see the narcissist fail. Yes, it's tempting to want to see the narcissist's life turn to shit, but if you want to know what will happen in the narcissist's life, ask me and I'll give you the answers, and that's far safer. If you're going around trying to find out what the narcissist is up to, trying to see that the narcissist's life isn't going to plan, you'll either see that the narcissist is carrying on happy as Larry, or apparently happy as Larry, which will infuriate, frustrate you, and might cause you to do something which will breach your no contact further, and thus provoke a hoover. Or, again, word reaches the narcissist that you're asking questions, that you're prying, that you're snooping, that you're seen doing these things, which precipitates a hoover. And that's why you keep getting hoovered. Number 6, a desire to try and work things out. The only thing you need to work out is, this person is a narcissist, how do I ensure that I keep them away from me and I stay away from them? You can't work things out with a narcissist because you will be threatening our control. You cannot make us do something with any guarantee of success. Therefore, trying to work things out with us is a consequence of your emotional thinking corrupting your empathic trait of the desire to heal and to fix, causing you to think, well, at least we can be friends, or we'll be on civil terms. It's much nicer that I can at least say hello and be okay with this person rather than feeling like I always have to avoid them. No, that is emotional thinking. And if you try and work things out with the narcissist, all you'll do is give the narcissist fuel and signal to the narcissist, come and hoover me harder. A further one, number 7, is feeling the need to tell other people about what's going on. And this feeds back into earlier points that I've made, that if you keep talking about the narcissist and your experience, then this is invariably going to come to the attention of the narcissist, because people tend to talk, and they'll pass it on to somebody else, who may then pass it on to somebody else, who passes it on to the narcissist. And you'll come back on the radar. And if you've been saying something, as you invariably will, about how badly hurt you've been, therefore insinuating the narcissist has done something bad to you, or even being express about that, that of course threatens the narcissist's control. The narcissist hears about this, and it increases the risk of you being hoovered. If you make it easy, the narcissist will hoover you, because lessers are lazy and mid-rangers like the minimum of effort. They want the low-hanging fruit, and so if you are being that low-hanging fruit, they'll take it all day long. But if you make it difficult for the narcissist, because the narcissist isn't this Terminator-like machine in most instances, then the narcissist will be forced elsewhere. We absolutely hate redundant acts. If we can't get what we need from you, control, fuel, character traits, residual benefits, we will try for a period of time, and then we are forced by our need for control and our need for fuel, etc., to seek those things elsewhere. We will not keep going and going and going, because that's a waste of our time, a waste of our energy. It is wounding us, it lowers our fuel levels. Our narcissism is designed, engineered, to make us get those things. And if you're a flawed reason to extract emotion, a free, we'll stop trying. Maybe it won't be forever, we may well circle back at a further juncture, but you'll certainly reduce the incidences of hoovering. And of course, if your no-contact regime is total, you won't even know that we tried to hoover you, because it doesn't get through. And you've achieved the unexecuted hoover, which is what you should all be aiming for. Think of it like this. Billy Burglar is walking down a road and he goes to number 1 Acacia Avenue. He looks at the house and decides to case it. He needs some goods to steal, to sell, to fund his habit of whatever it is. The house has all the doors and windows locked. He can hear a dog. He sees the CCTV and a burglar alarm. Billy thinks, I'm not going to burgle that house. There's too great a danger of getting caught and being unsuccessful. He departs. He comes back on Tuesday evening and checks the house again. Number 1 remains the same. He's not going to burgle it. He returns on Wednesday. He checks the house. Number 1 remains the same. He's not going to burgle it. By Thursday, the desperation for goods defence is very great. He returns again to check on number 1 Acacia Avenue. There is no point of entry. The CCTV is on, burglar alarm, etc. He can still hear the dog. He isn't going to burgle it, so he goes to number 2 instead. And number 2 has no dog, no burglar alarm, no CCTV, and a window is open. They get burgled. There are many other victims. If you make yourself too difficult to hoover, then we will go and hoover somebody else. If you find that you are getting repeatedly hoovered, the answer is you need to look at your no-contact regime and tighten it up. It needs to be closed down across all 5 arenas so that you keep the narcissist away from you and you keep yourself away from the narcissist. And if you want specific input, bespoke help as to how to achieve that, because it is a detailed matter and everybody's situation is different, then arrange a consultation with me and join the many others who have done so and have found that as a consequence of my expert advice, they've stopped getting hoovered. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.